जी शिक्षा के द्वार, पढ़े लिखे और बने कुशल, ज्ञान वाणी का उद्देश्य सफल, ज्ञान वाणी।
Hello listener, this is FM Radio Gyan Vani Shillong, broadcasting on 103.6 MHz. Today we present a program on the topic Science, Arts and Culture. Talker is Dr.S.Aravamudhan. Program produced by Kavita Raj for Gyan Vani Shillong. This program is presentation of C. Lal Vyag Tulyanga.
I would like to discuss what science, arts and culture is in terms of common terms instead of using technical terms. Most often when scientists talk about science or artists talk about arts, or in general culture is being spoken of, people do not much worry about what the definitions of these mean, and it's probably not possible to give a single sentence or I find that a description in terms of common terms would be helpful in clarifying the stance as to what can be science, what can be arts and what is culture. Let us consider basically science to be an objective study of the laws of nature. By objective, it can be meant that the outcome of the scientific study, that is, the scientific results, do not depend upon the individual who studied and got the results, nor does it depend upon who would be the reader and the beneficiary. For all the meaning factual information is the same and independent of the subjective influence of the individual participating in the study with regard to the purpose and of the activity and the resulting fact finding. Scientists have been identified for the unique contributions and the unprecedented discoveries, but this does not mean the results are valid for and constrained to only those individuals. Thus, the discoveries are of universal validity. In this context, it may be construed that if the discoveries were not made by the individual scientist at the particular time, it is bound to be discovered by someone else with the same validity. Therefore, the discovered facts are not going to be dependent on any particular individual, but it depends only on the possibility that the individual has encountered this discovery by his usual methods and pursuit. But the result is of universal validity. It is necessary to realize that even though historical perspectives and chronology of scientific events are important, they are no longer determining factors once the scientific facts are well appreciated and becomes part of everyday activity by its utility and usage. That some individuals do well in scientific subjects and some others do not have an aptitude for it does not change the scientific fact's validity. Those who are not well acquainted with the subject of science do reap the benefits as such and as much as any other individual who is well versed in the science subjects and has scientific study as their means of earning. What an individual scientist achieved by making an unprecedented discovery, in the event of absence of such an individual's effort, would not remain undiscovered forever after. It is quite well possible that the same discovery could have resulted by the successive efforts of several individuals spread over a longer duration and in such a gradual steps that everyone would have known well what the previous findings were and what has happened before any particular stage of finding facts. Cumulatively, this must result in the same validity and the same kind of a universal standing for the fact that is found or the discovery. And therefore, such a discovery may not be attributed to a single-handed, quick and persistent effort, but could have evolved over several years. For example, this aspect must be well appreciated as far as the science is concerned. Thus, one may find that the atomic structure of the present day evolved over several years and several scientists to be named for such various stages of development of the present day theory of atomic structure. On the other hand, the discovery of the structure of benzene by Kekulé was a unique event, and it was such breakthrough that it would be difficult to envisage how the same fact could have been arrived at by the contribution of other scientists in gradual steps. This does speak of the individual's ability is unique, but never makes its applicability and usage anything to do with the personality of the individual scientist Kekulé. Thus, there were impediments in the final reality about the planetary system, and the hardships which the scientists went through to make the facts acceptable, and these have been well documented, and individuals had to bear the brunt of the actions by the ignorant lot. But finally, the fact stands the test of time, irrespective of the fact that there were vehement objections to the proposal of the heliocentric planetary system. All the above substantiate that the individuals have struggled with all their might in the discovery of scientific facts, and hence due credit should be given for the way the discovery was achieved by the individual at the time. But these inevitable facts do not depend on any such means of discovery or personality of the individual who discovered. The same could have been achieved by another individual or several others in successive steps, and the fact would remain the same, held universally valid. Naturally, if a person has to succeed in a scientific career, trying to establish as original contributor would mean a highly competitive world, and where any other individual can be involved in any particular assignment which a specific individual is engaged in, and it depends on who is able to get it published earlier so that the credit for an invention can be duly acclaimed. Thus, the considerations of patenting and protection of intellectual property right would be of utmost importance. On the other hand, individuals can try to make scientific contributions as much as possible with intellectual curiosity as a prime motive, and further the advantage to the improvement of living conditions by unraveling such curious natural phenomena. Such scientists may not be concerned much about the credits and recognitions to themselves, since it would not matter to anyone else whether the recognition is duly conferred on themselves for any particular contribution, but would ensure the benefits of their own research activities permeate the environment, essentially a satisfaction of the evidencing that